What's up, everybody in the Gundam community, speedrun community? I know it's been a minute since I said I was going to do this. Sai has finally been getting on my case about notes, and by finally, I mean he's been every once in a while. Hey man, when are those notes coming? When are those notes coming? When are those notes coming? Well, I'm going to start today with notes. This is Mobile Suit Gundam Journey to Jaburo. I've been meaning to make this for a while now. This is pretty much going to be a speedrun guide. I'm going to go through it mission by mission, and I'll show you how everything goes, and maybe at the end of all this, I'll do a demonstration run. I think for this first part, though, I think I'm going to cover the early game, but... Excuse me, water. Had to do that. This is pretty much live and off the cuff, but, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go mission by mission. I'm not going to go full into it. I'll go stage by stage, and then we may do a demonstration run just so I show you everything that's going on. So, let's go at it. Of course, when you go into the actual run, you're going to go to story mode and you're going to press new game. And the way you'll know you're in New Game Plus is... First of all, you'll have all 9 of these stages unlocked and beaten. And then you'll see certain key differences that you won't see in New Game Plus and New Game. And I think the main thing is just 1 extra Zaku. There's a potential to fight Garma and a Zaku. And you know pretty much what every mobile suit is. Whereas with New Game, they're all unknown. Anything that's new that you don't know about in canon, you just don't know about, period. It'll show up as an unknown mobile suit. Alright, so I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go stage select, and I'm going to run through every stage. I'll go stage by stage, and then we'll go from there. Or I can just do it the speedrun way. I think it's simpler though if I go stage by stage. Let me know what you think for the first part. I'll do like this. Alright, so we go into the early game here. We're going to Stage 1, Gundam Rising. Okay, I'll go ahead and just kind of skip through everything that's going, and then we'll explain everything that's happening. We'll go ahead and skip through this cutscene right quick and get to the briefing screen. Alright, so the simple thing here is destroy enemy mobile suits. There will be 3 Zakus that show up. Alright, now you would think, normally you can switch weapons here, right? This is what happens when you try to do that. You can't. Alright, because the game actually stays true to the canon of the series, which is using the beam rifle or anything else the Gundam actually has naturally equipped is a bad idea. Also because I believe the only 2 weapons available to Amuro at the point were the Beam Saber and the Vulcan gun, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a good explanation. I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and fire it up, and we'll show you exactly what's going on as far as the movement and everything that's happened. So you'll excuse that my capture card drops signal every now and then. Apparently it's condom. What the heck?
Gundam Rising.
My dyslexic self. Apparently that's common in the Gundam games, that you have signal dropping on some of the older Gundams. The newer Gundams don't do that so much. But anyhow, let's show you what's going on. Alright, so we're going to boost right here, and we're going to go straight after this first Zaku. Alright, now the new thing I found, you used to be able to go like this and just hack and slash. However, I found some new tech. So what we're going to do is instead we're going to run straight at. We're going to hit our shoulder buttons, L1 and R1, and we're just going to keep running at this Zaku. That is a much faster way of dealing with that Zaku. So we get that first one down, and it plays a cutscene. So we're going to skip through it. This Zaku on the left-hand side is always going to be the more hostile, so we're going to go for this guy who spawns on the right. This guy does not spawn other than in New Game Plus. Same idea. We're going to be careful. Shoulder button. Run straight at him. The shoulder button's guarantee that we can continue to attack. And if you get real risky about it, alright, so this guy always shoulder charges. If you want to get real fun about the tech here, you can always do like you would do with the Hyper Hammer, where you go here, shoulder buttons, like this, you'll cancel attacks just like that. Alright, so real quick, just so the mission wouldn't continue to play out, I just reset it because I want to show you a few things that we learned about this game that don't really help us, but it's something that happens in New Game Plus, and it shows that it's possible. What I did there is I did an in-game reset. Big trick if you want to not actually hit the reset button like you always would have to in most games. If you'll hit all 4 shoulder buttons, which is L1, L2, R1, R2, and select start all at the same time, it will take you back to the intro cinematic, which will take you back to the start screen, which will take you back to here. Alright, so let me show you something that we learned about Stage 1, or at least I learned about Stage 1. I don't know if PMC or anybody else that runs this game has learned this certain tech, but I'm going to show you anyway. Alright? It's a little key thing where if somebody can figure out how to chain this together and make it make sense, then it'll be really good, because you're talking a lot of time saved. Okay? There's a caveat to this, that's why I'm doing it real slow. I just wanted to get the movement down first and then showcase something I found and see if somebody can find something that will make it even faster. So in part, not only is this just a guide, this is also a way to kind of show what we know about the game. Alright, so instead of going after this first Zaku, in New Game Plus, this second Zaku that normally spawns after you kill the first one is already here. So, instead, I'm going to go after this guy first. Now, of course, he's the hostile one. So, never mind. He doesn't do the charge. Huh. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to go here. We're going to get away from this Zaku. We're going to go right to the corner where the next one is going to show up. He shows up right here in front of our face. Okay? See, it entirely skips a cutscene. So this is good news. The problem with doing this tech is that we're trying to beat the mission before 59 seconds. The reason being, at 59 seconds, you get that playing. So even though that looked pretty fast, you know, hey, you skipped a cutscene, woohoo! The problem with that is you have to travel so much distance to get all 3 of those Zakus, if you completely ignore the first one, that in the long run, it just makes more sense to just skip the cutscene and then take care of the other 2 Zakus, because the 2 Zakus are going to be pretty close to each other. The 2 Zakus away from the first one are going to be in pretty close proximity. Now I'm going to do this in full speed and show you kind of what we're trying to do for Stage 1. So the key here is we want to beat the mission, or at least finish the last Zaku kill by 51-52 seconds. The reason for that is Zakus in general in most mobile suits take 7 seconds to detonate. So it's those 7 seconds are very key for us, because we want to entirely avoid that last bit of dialogue that plays.
Gundam
if we can do that before 59 seconds, we save so much time. So let's try to do this full speed, and I'll explain it. Okay? Get past the cutscene, boost right here for the first Zaku. Alright, I'm going to run at it. Strafing. That way I continue to run at it. I don't lose my momentum. Ah, boost accidentally. Didn't mean to do that. That's fine though. 17 seconds to take the first one down, which means it'll be 24 seconds before the next one shows up, which is fine. Cutscene plays, we skip it, and now the next Zaku shows up. Now, one thing I have experimented with, I've pressed the shoulder buttons at the same time to see if I get more mobility that way. It appears to be faster in some spots, and in some spots it appears to be not so fast at all. But it seems like something that has worked. Okay, so we get the second Zaku down because this one is always going to shoulder charge us. We can also get close to it and stop it from doing that entirely. Okay, and see, we got this last Zaku down with a couple lucky hits at 50 seconds. So if you look, no dialogue. No dialogue plays at all. This would be a very, very good Mission 1 if we played it all the way through. And see, 57 seconds, that's pretty good, and my best is 49. So there's a way to get ridiculous pace coming out of Stage 1. I believe 49 is a part of my last PB, if I'm not mistaken. That's just a way to get some insane, ridiculous pace. So that's Mission 1. Pretty self-explanatory. Not a whole lot you can do there as far as weapon setups or tech, but it's a very interesting mission to start because it's one that can set the tone of what kind of run you're going to have. Especially when the biggest thing that's always going to affect these Gundam games, no matter what, and I'm not going to mention it too much because we've learned in the Gundam community, RNG is a necessary evil. It's something that we all have to deal with. The big thing of it is, though, is that sometimes it affects you, sometimes you get good RNG, sometimes you get bad RNG, but a lot of what we've done to route this game and put development behind the tech we use and the decisions we make, you know, we can mitigate a lot of it and still come out with fast runs, and then the rest just comes down to execution with the good RNG.
A civilian kid.
So anyhow, this is Mission 2. Coming up, we are in the desert. We are escorting the white base. We really don't have to worry about the white base in this situation. Not unless you just stand there and literally do nothing. If you stand there and literally do nothing, that's your own fault. Okay, so this is the first time we get weapon setups here. And the big thing of it is we're going to deal with a lot of these Megalitops. So the Hyper Bazooka is unironically the best option. This is your bread and butter for the early game. Let's just go ahead and run through 3 weapons, alright? I just went ahead and mentioned the Hyper Bazooka while I'm here. This is your bread and butter for the early game. This is God King of the early game. It kind of falls off late, but it still has some uses. It's very, very, very useful. It's very useful. Do not underestimate it. It's very good, and I'm about to show you why. The beam rifle is unironically the signature weapon of the Gundam, the strongest weapon in the game, unquestionably. The best special, the most consistent DPS. Well, I wouldn't say the most consistent DPS when this thing exists, but we'll get to that guy. Unironically though, the beam rifle, fire rate, really good, does good damage, great special, has a lot of use in some spots, but I don't know if it's really the consistent one to use all the way through the run when this thing exists and it's game breaking. And then you have this thing right here. It doesn't get a whole lot of love. It used to. PMC really loves this weapon. PMC Trilogy, the first guy who really tried to run this game and make a run out of it, he used this thing like you wouldn't believe. And playing around with it, I learned that there's actually some useful tech, but with the ways we've come to develop the game and learn about the strategies and learn about how exactly busted this game can be, the Hyper Hammer really lost a lot of its relevance, but there is one mission in particular where it's great. We'll get to that later on, though. To go back to Mission 2, though, and focus on what we got, you want to go just like this. Let's just go ahead and say we're doing it in an actual run. Okay, so you'll start here, you'll go to Weapon Setup, you're going to pick the Hyper Bazooka, you're going to get out, you're going to go to Start Mission, you're going to go here. That's basically what the setup menuing looks like for the speedrun. Just like that. Just without all that explanation. Okay.
Winds of war.
Alright. So we're going to explain what's going on. I'll kind of take this slow. Alright? Takes a while to load. The only curse about this game, really like the little details it has with the series though. Alright, so we have to boost. A lot of times we're going to boost forward. 9 times out of 10 we're boosting forward. Or I should really say 8 times out of 9. Let's do it. Alright, so you see these 6 Magella right here. We're going to take these guys out. Sometimes we don't get lucky. We still get one that splits off, but as you saw on the second one, I'll try to demonstrate with this one. You see right here, the tank and the aircraft with it are gone because it's part aircraft, part tank. If you go right here with one shot, sometimes the dots will get in your way. Be careful with the hitboxes. Of course, I'm doing this slow just to kind of show what's going on. So we take care of this first fleet here, and then we got these Zakus. Not even firing direct, we're just going to use 2 specials, and that Zaku is done. Okay? Only Zaku we have to deal with, though. So we go right here to this last fleet of Magella. Okay? We're firing. Not really doing this fast. Not really doing this in a big way. Just kind of taking our time. I'll go ahead and fire this last shot, though, because I need to. So we take care of those 2 Magella fleets, and we take care of the 1 Zaku. And then we have Garma show up in this thing. I'm about to show you why we call him the easiest boss in the game. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it because explaining it's not going to do anything well. Alright? I'm going to boost a little bit. I'm going to go up. I'm going to fire. And he's done. Sorry to move the camera there, but essentially what happens is Garma is literally right in the front. You have the dot fleet flying right at you. Garma is in the front. So what you just do is you gain a little distance to cut the gap. Then you'll boost up. You'll look at Garma and you'll fire.
Test your reaction time on terra firma.
As long as you hit the shot, you're okay. And you can be a little bit off with the hitbox. So we'll go to Char now. He's pretty simple. He's an ace pilot. He's going to be a particular pain in our ass. We're going to boost to him. We're going to get in range. We're going to fire specials. Nothing but specials. 3 and he's done. Char can be troublesome. He is part of the RNG we're talking about. Because he can block, he can dodge away, but if you get lucky shots like I did there, again, he's 3 shots and you're done.
Good work.
So, again, it's kind of easy. Not too hard. Not too bad. Now we'll do the full run-on demonstration. So that way you guys can kind of see what's really going on. Okay? I don't think the first few missions are really the hardest ones that we need to talk about. Although, there are a few key things that we do need to talk about in the upcoming mission. But, like I did in mission 1, we're going to go back to mission 2. I'm going to show you how it looks in full speed. And I'll explain everything I'm doing in a way that makes sense. Okay. Like bazooka menuing. Perfect. Take a drink of water while I'm at it. Wait for this loading screen.
Winds of war.
Alright. Should be coming anytime soon now. Not too bad. Okay. The disadvantage of my game or my capture card is that sometimes I have to guess when the cutscene is, but my TV lets me know when it's coming. Alright, so we're gonna boost over this rock. Go right here. Try to take the first shot, cheese it. Go here, we continue to fire. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes we have to lock onto Magella. Got 2 unlucky shots. That's the first fleet done. Zaku in a good spot for us. He's going to start right behind that rock. Sometimes he goes left, sometimes he goes right, sometimes he shows up where we want him to show up. Okay, we got full 8 shots here. We're going to go right here. Continue to go after these Magella. We don't want to get too close because otherwise they will separate. But we did good there. Alright, 42 seconds. That's a good time. Alright, again, we boost. We go up. Here's Garma. There he is. And there he goes. Okay. Here's Char. Lock onto him so we know where he's at. Hold the square button to get our specials going. See, unlucky. He dodges there. Dodges right into our shot, though. We run out of specials. That's unlucky. It's fine, though. Oh, God. Where'd you go, Char? Okay. Alright. So, as you see right there, if you're not careful with your specials, Char can really decide he doesn't want to play the video game, and you just lose your speed run. So I had to kind of make something up there on the fly. You know, that's not really how we want to do it, but that kind of demonstrates what we're talking about when we say RNG is a necessary evil in this game. Sometimes it's great, sometimes that happens. The only way I could have played that a little better is maybe I could have managed my ammo a little better. Maybe I could have reset my specials. There's a lot of things I could have done differently, but overall, if you had that for your first run where you had to kind of improv an ending, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad if you had to improv an ending. But you see what happens with Char. Sometimes he does that, and we just don't get to play the video game. Char is one of the guys that likes to screw up the run, and a lot of it really comes down to execution and just paying attention to what happens with the Magellas. Because you can lose runs on stupid things like forgetting to boost with Garma and missing the shot, or taking care of the Magella and then you realize one got away from you and you didn't catch it. Certain things like that. So I should have demonstrated it with the Magella. If you get too close to one of them, they're going to naturally separate away from you. So you want to stay at a distance and then you want to fire on them. But the reason the Hyper Bazooka is so good there is the hitbox is big enough that it takes out both the aircraft and the tank. It's a 2-for-1, literally. And the hitbox is so good that you can be just a little to the left or a little to the right and you'll still hit. So good game design really helps us in speedruns, and it shows right there. So we're going now to stage 3, Garma's Fate, and this is the one where this can be a pain in the ass or this can be really good. So there are a few caveats to this mission that need to be made aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and then we'll kind of explain everything that's going on piece by piece. Okay? Get past the cutscene. Alright, not going to go too much into briefing. We want to go into our weapons. The Hyper Bazooka or the Beam Rifle are both good here. The only problem with the Beam Rifle is that you run the risk of losing time based on what char you get. I mean, you can gain time based off the fact that this special is so good and the strength of the weapon. All you have to do to down most enemies with the Beam Rifle is one normal, which is just press the square button, and one special, which is hold the square button. So that's the best way to really combat most mobile suits, and you'll see that coming up later. But for the time being, we'd rather just not do that. We'd rather just go with the consistency and the guaranteed kills, which would be the 2 specials of the Hyper Bazooka. We rarely, if ever, will use our normal shots with the Hyper Bazooka, just so you know. We're going to start the mission, and we're going to get it rolling. Okay, I hope I'm doing well out there for everybody. You know, this is kind of, again, this is off the cuff. This is off the top of the head. This is all stuff I've kind of had maintained. I don't really have a script for this, but I've just been kind of using this as a way to kind of showcase the game in a different way and really go about how we run this game. Okay? So there's Char. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to boost forward. Brightness is up a little bit for me because it helps me see the screen to stay naturally dark level. Alright, we're going to go here. There's this first Zaku on the left-hand side. Okay, this one's down. Easy 2 shots. And then we go to the second one. Okay, here he is. Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop right here because I want to explain something very clearly. Okay? This is the first bit where RNG can really fuck you, and this is where a few key positional errors can screw this whole mission up. Okay? So, it's very important we got that first Zaku on the left-hand side down. Because this guy on the right determines if we have a Zaku spawn over here or over here. Now, Shaman, you may wonder, what's the big deal with that extra Zaku spawning to the west or to the southeast? Well, viewer, I'm glad you asked. If he spawns over here, it's clearly faster. Clearly, without any shadow of a doubt, faster. Because you got 2 Zakus right here. However, if he spawns over here in the southeast, well, you do the math. It's very simple. No math, by the way, if my man Basement Hero manages to watch this. If he spawns over here, you're losing about 30 seconds of time. But how can we determine this from positional errors, you see? Well, it's quite simple. Alright? We're going to unpause. We're going to look at him. We're going to watch him go down. The detonation sequence starts. We're going to reset my special while I wait. Okay? And as you see right there, if you turn away too quick, then the Zaku will not show up. And if you turn away too fast and get to here, then the Zaku will be in the southeast. So we're waiting for our specials. I was late to reset the specials, but we're waiting for our specials. We want to get these 2 down. Okay, this one blocked. That's unlucky. That's fine. We want to get away from the Zaku when it's that close, because the hitbox can block. Alright, we're close enough. Let's see what happens when we go here. Okay. So, key thing I want to point out. There are 2 places where Char can spawn. As you just saw there, I got the northwest Char spawn. It can be faster, it can be slower. It all depends on what type of RNG you get out of Char. He has a bazooka, though. So, every time he hits you, you're going to get knocked back. Which means you lose time because your mobile suit locks up and you can't attack. I don't know. The jury's out on whether northwest or northeast is faster. Okay? Northeast would be somewhere in here. That was out in the darkness. But, the point being, we know where Char spawns. We know there's 2 places he spawns. The reason we can determine his spawn is all based on this thing right here. This is a good landmark. If the last Zaku hasn't finished detonating by the time you get to here, very good chance Char shows up in the northwest. If you haven't been here and you go way out, so let me see if I can remember where I was while Char kind of does some things.
That isn't their main force either.
Alright, good, this is where I was. Alright, so you see right here with this Zaku. This building right here is a good landmark if you're trying to get northwest. You don't want to go past this point. If you don't care and you want northeast, go further beyond. Go about to where that third white building is. I'll just go ahead and walk to it. Right here. Right here. Okay? Now, Char has moved a little bit, but he gets stuck between these buildings sometimes. It can be useful. I'll just show you how the battle goes with Char. He stands around. Alright, see, he locks us up. Locks us up again. But see, this is actually a good Char fight that just happened here. Because he got stuck between those buildings. So, we're alright. I'm going to see if I can get two setups where I get the northwest and the northeast Char spawn. But I'm not counting on it. Okay. Char again is the hardest part of this mission. Because the last part is easy. We get Garma, who thinks flying at us is smart. He's in an aircraft, but he's just bigger and stupider. Right here in the center is the man we're going for. Okay, so casually, he's going to stay on our position. Alright. We're going to boost up to him. We're going to land on him. We're going to keep firing specials. That is Garma. Once again, freest boss in the game. So casually, what you're supposed to do is what this cutscene entails here. You draw the gals out to in front of the white base, and this is what happens.
Fire!
Okay, so that's the casual way of doing it. And the game spells it out in a way with Garma where if you're confused, that center gal will sit over the top of you and spin around in a circle going, "Where you going, buddy? Where you going, buddy? I got you, buddy. I'm going to get you, buddy." And he's not going to fire on you. He ain't going to do nothing to you. The other two gals are going to keep flying, though. However, if you do that, the white base is going to die. So try not to do that. Simple answer there. But if you're like me and you just figured out the easy way to do it without having to go in front of the white base, you literally just boost on top of the gal and take it out that way. Okay. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to show you the fast way to do it, and I'll see what spawn I get. I think I explained the caveats pretty well. You know, there's a few landmarks you can use if you're trying to get either spawn. I'll put it like this, okay? It's easier to get to northeast Char than it is to get to northwest. Northwest Char spawn, there's more obstructions. It's a little bit long. I mean, you cut some distance with northwest Char, I guess, but you have a lot more buildings in between. Char's behavior is more unpredictable. Just I'm not really a fan of northwest Char, but if I get it, I mean, I'll take the distance I gain from it, right? I'd rather do northeast Char, though, because with northeast Char, you get more open area. It's just him. There's maybe one or two buildings out there in between, and it just comes down to RNG and a little bit of execution. So let me show you what this looks like in full time. Okay, we got a weapon setup. Once again, good menuing. You can tell I've played this game a while. More often than I should. If my boy Skillerterror was here, he would probably say, please put on your live split, and please show your number of runs for this game. I've run it way more than necessary. Alright. Okay, there's the cutscene. Boost, please. Thank you. I'm going to hit R2 and select so I can get a full view of the map. It helps me identify spawns better and make sure I got what I got. Here's the first Zaku on the left-hand side. I'm going to confirm he went down because I didn't know if he blocked. Okay. There's the second. Alright, I'm going to reset my specials here. Wait just a little bit. Okay. Alright, there's that other Zaku spawn. Very good. gonna go past this landmark. I don't really care about getting Northwest Shar Spawn, but if I get it, great. We're gonna watch the position of these two Zaku's. I hope they separate, but if they stay in a straight line, it's okay. I just have to adjust somewhere. And the way I'm gonna adjust this time is I'm gonna boost in front. I may take recoil damage, I don't care. Okay, I did. It's fine. Alright, this basically guarantees Northeast Shar Spawn. These two Zaku's can really help you out. Not going to go too much over their positioning because they're RNG. If they split up left and right, they're helping you. If they don't, well, you know, I can't help you there. Alright, so this is Northeast Shar. As you see, not a lot of obstructions. Can I push the right way, please? That sucks. I lost all my thrust, so I have to get to it naturally. Okay, one way, went the other way, it sucks. Block. Still blocking. 140 is really slow. There's again examples of RNG just completely ruining this run. But it happens. You know, something we can't control for the most part. But when it does, in that instance, it's almost a guaranteed reset. Here's Garma. Okay. Don't want to be too careful because he's still out of bounds and we're right at the edge to get to him. Get a little help from the own gal blowing his dumb ass up. And he's done. Okay. And this is a key difference I've figured out of the game as an aside note. Whether you have a DualShock 2 or you have the OG PlayStation 1 DualShock controller, you do gain a little bit of difference in thrust. Okay? The DualShock 2, you get more responsive thrust, which is great. And with DualShock 1, it's slower, but it's not as, I want to say, jerky, I think. You kind of know what you get with one. The DualShock 2 is faster, but the timing just becomes a little to screw with. But the DualShock 1, you don't get as much thrust, but you know just about where you're going. So that's the simple way to explain it there. And that effectively takes care of your early game here. Now I think I will go over Mission 4 and call it there for this first part. I'm not sure. I may continue going though, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to call it parts or I may just end up doing the whole thing. We'll see how I feel. I'm already getting tired explaining most of the game. My mind just shuts down after a while, as would anybody else's. It feels like it turns... Does anybody else get that feeling where it turns to mush when you're explaining something?
Do you read me? Blame this on the misfortune.
It just... You've done all this good stuff and then your brain goes, alright, take a break please. Please take a break. You're explaining too much. You need to kind of slow down. Alright. Yeah, this will be the last one I explain because this is a player's choice. We'll call it here on Mission 4 and then I'll roll out for the stream or at least the explanation video, I'm not sure. But this is Mission 4. This is the first time we're going to see Ramba Rawl. And we're attacking a base. So instead of us being on defense, we're finally like, alright! We get to blow some stuff up and take command! Yeah! America! Or in this case, space! Or Earth! Earth, actually. Earth. Earth, that's right. Anyhow. The beam rifle or the hyper bazooka, both are excellent choices. It literally comes down to preference. It literally comes down to preference, which one you prefer between the two. And I'll put it to you in a way that makes sense. If you want a faster first part, where you clear the base well, take the beam rifle. If you want an easier boss fight with Ramba Rawl, take the hyper bazooka. I will show both off right now because they're relatively the same regardless of how you approach this. We're going to start with the beam rifle so I can show you kind of the clears. and why the beam rifle is so good in certain spots, and actually would unironically be the best weapon for the next 2 missions, even though we don't get a choice.
The threat of Xeon.
Hello, Genus, I believe. 13. Hello, friend. Thank you for the roll. I'm glad somebody appreciated that patriotic flair joke I was going for. Alright, so we're going to boost. We have to be careful with the way our thrust goes in and out. I'm going to try a little bit of this here, see if I get... This feels faster to hold the shoulder buttons. Alright, so let me demonstrate what I'm showing off here, why the beam rifle is so good. Oh, and the Zaku just steps out of the way. So normal and a special normally take those out. Okay, now we're going to go here. Alright, that's not going to help if that satellite's away. Hello? Alright. Alright. So the bad thing about this beam rifle is these turrets are kind of... I'll go ahead and just stop right here and just show you. These turrets right here, they have They have fortifications here that the beam rifle's small and precise hitbox have no answer to. However, the good news about this is that if you get on the sides or behind these turrets and you're really having trouble, they can't turn to follow you. So you just go, ha-ha! Alright. That's the only downside to the beam rifle in the clearing, but it is faster because... And sometimes you get that. That's what I mean by RNG. Normally, one normal and one special are good enough to get the job done, but sometimes the game just doesn't like that, and they'll knock the Zaku back anyway. You saw earlier on, before I just had everything screw up though, the beam rifle, its firing rate, ability to change targets real quick, it makes it so good. You can have a good clear here. Right side is faster than left side, by the way. So this is Ramba. Let me see if I can show off this thing with the beam rifle real quick on the normal Zaku. So see, just like that, that Zaku is done. Alright, this is how we handle Ramba. I think he was running in another direction anyway. So it's not exactly the best fight. Okay, he's done. 2 or 3 specials take care of him. It's not exactly what I wanted anyway, because there's a trick to Ramba about this level that's pretty obvious. And I'll show it when I do the Hyper Bazooka run, or I'll try another beam rifle. I think I'll try another beam rifle run, see if I can get it done in a way where it kind of makes sense. Well, yeah, that's what I'll do. We'll do a full speed beam rifle. We'll do a full speed beam rifle. So what we have to do there for that first phase, since I was kind of bewildered by a little of what was going on, what we have to do for that first phase in Mission 4 is we have to take out the 2 Zakus, and we have to take out every little red target that's on that little rock there. That's apparently the base that we're trying to destroy. Which, apparently it's not that impressive anyway. But you know what? Fuck them. Excuse my language, but fuck them. We got to take their base and blow it up. Now they don't get to have it. It's our territory. We just make a power move and tell them, you know, hey, this is ours. And they go, what? And we go, it's ours. And they go, oh, okay. Understandable. Have a nice day. Alright, so let's try the beam rifle full speed so I can kind of see what's going on and make sure I understand it. It's been the first time I did beam rifle in a while. And the little frustrations I had with those obstructions and shields there, that's exactly why I stopped with the beam rifle. Strafing a little bit. Not sure if it really gives us a speed advantage, but it does feel faster to do that. Okay. There's this Zaku. Gonna get close enough that I can go here, here, it's down, hold the shield up so I don't get recoil from turrets. Okay. Got that. E! Hit from there. Okay. Don't have to fire there. Just here. Okay. See, that base clearing was pretty fast. Other than a few adjustments I had to make. And that Zaku kept running right. Awesome. Not awesome at all, by the way. Alright. While I can, I'm going to go ahead and show you something that'll save you some time in this speed game. If you have a situation where you feel like you need to reset your specials, go ahead and do it. Because by the time you get to halfway, the game will adjust for you. See, it wasn't done. It wasn't done. I want you to make notice of that. It was about a little over halfway done. Whereas we go to this next part, we're going to be there by the time we go here. Alright, so key thing I want you to notice about Ramba. He ran straight at us. This is exactly the interaction we want. Now the blocking is unlucky, but we exactly want Ramba to run at us. Reason being, he's more difficult to deal with if he runs around. We get bad RNG if he runs around, which I got bad RNG naturally anyway. Apparently I boosted when I was just trying to run at him. We got bad RNG anyway. We got bad RNG anyway because he blocked every special. What you're trying to do there with the beam rifle is you're trying to get
You did great out there,
2 or
Amuro.
3
With
quick
you and the
hits,
Gundam on our side,
and he
the
goes down.
Federation can win
I
this
believe
war.
my fastest time right there of 1:16 is with the beam rifle. There are older videos out there that really show what the beam rifle can do. Now I'm going to show you why I personally prefer the Hyper Bazooka on this mission, and why I think both are good depending on which one you like. There's only about a few seconds of difference between the two, but the reason I say both are good is because one is significantly faster than the other in each department. And I'm about to show you exactly why I prefer the Hyper Bazooka. So I'll go ahead and just do this full speed because I've already shown how we handle it. Okay, we're going to start the mission. So a lot of what we learned today is RNG sucks when I try to do it full speed. And then when I demonstrate it, I don't really get too bad of luck. Although this is the first time that Ramba has said, "Ha ha! Fuck your demonstrating. I'm gonna ruin your video anyway." He's doing it for the fans though. For the fans. Alright. So we boost here. I'll go ahead and do this thing I've been practicing on with the strafing and the shoulder buttons. It feels faster. It really does. It's something I haven't played with, but what I've done sometimes is I've held the shoulder buttons while I've been boosting to an objective or somewhere. And sometimes I'll let one go to keep strafing or correct for direction. But anyhow, we go right here. Again, we take advantage of the hitbox. The bad part there is that shield, even with as big as the bazooka hitbox is, that shield in front still manages to block all of that. Okay, I hit something else in the distance though, locked on something else and still got the turret. Good game design, by the way. Alright, so we go for this Zaku here. And again, that's a perfect demonstration. We are firing to the right, not even close to hitting it, and we hit it anyway. And about a minute for all that to get done. That's actually a pretty solid time for Hyper Bazooka. I think lower is better. I've done sub-minute before, but to get a minute on the dot when Ryu and Sayla start talking, the game uses a lot of audio cues to let you know when you're going on to the next part. Now this is Ramba. Okay, see, look, that hit him even though he dodged. Good video design, by the way. So that there is my point to why I think the Hyper Bazooka is better. You take advantage of the special, You get an easier fight with Ramba. You eliminate a lot of that bad RNG Ramba gets from moving around. Because you can still score with hits.
What's that? He ran away. Or maybe he just spared us.
That's a pretty succinct
You're unnatural, gifted. It's
summary there, Amuro. Maybe he just spared us.
I couldn't even imagine.
Maybe he just spared us after all. So again, it comes down to player's choice. I know I just made the Hyper Bazooka look really good. And if you see right here from the best time I got, which again, that was 100% with the beam rifle. If you look right here, it's only 6 seconds off my best. Only 6 seconds. In a mission that kills runs a lot more than the first 3 do. Because if those first 3 don't kill your runs, this one certainly will. But only 6 seconds. Only 6 seconds off my best with a beam rifle. And I get a more consistent fight and more consistent damage in the long run. That's a trade, personally me looking at it as a speedrunner, that's a trade I'll take any day of the week. But again, that's player's choice. If you want faster, the beam rifle is objectively better. If you want consistency without sacrificing a lot of speed, the Hyper Bazooka is the way to go. So anyhow, that's going to do it for this first part. I'm getting kind of hazy from talking so much, but that's going to cover missions 1 through 4. I will be back later on with 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I think I'll do the last 5 and keep it in 2 parts and do it like that. So anyhow, thank you for watching, gamers. Hope you enjoyed the stream for this and the educational content you got today. Hope you learned something. And until next time, take it easy. Rolling out.